Hello all. Have you ever thought, I don't want to spend $100 to buy a strawberry pot, or 75 might be too much for me, or all I got left is about $25, but I really would like to grow some strawberries? Well, that's what this episode of New Victory Gardening is going to be about. Hi, my name is Michael, and this is an example of a strawberry pot or container built using fence boards and one 2x4. So what you see there to make this pot is about 3 or 4 fence boards, be it redwood or cedar. I would recommend whatever you like actually, but I lean towards redwood because they tend to be a little bit thicker. And then one 2x4 of redwood as well, but if you don't have redwood, it's okay to use Douglas fir, whatever wood you have. And it's basically kitted. You see me making the cuts here, and so I wanted my box to be 12 inches tall by about 5 or 6 inches wide. So you kind of want a narrow box, so that way as the strawberry plants fruit, the fruit goes out over the edges and it facilitates them not getting eaten by bugs or microbes or any fungus or diseases on them. You just get nice, healthy, sweet strawberries. And so here, making my cuts, making sure everything's for the 2x4s cut to the right size. And this is basically it. So you see 6 fence boards there, 4 2x4s, and 4 side cuts. And for me, since I have my tools out today, I'm doing this actually as an extra task. I had something else I was doing and decided to get this done since I had my compressor out. And I was, kind of finishing up another build here in the fall season, trying to get ready for winter. So I decided to go ahead and put this together as well. So the assembly is pretty straightforward. You build your side panels, which is what I'm doing right now. So you take the long fence boards, kind of square them up, and go ahead and put them together. I did this with the first box by hand, so you can very much do it by hand. Luckily, redwood and cedar are soft woods, and so they go together easily, and they kind of tolerate water well. So I put that lip on top for a reason. I just liked having it. I had to move these by hand, and so I kind of made them so that the 2x4 sit on the outside, and so the inside of the box is just a nice clean box. But I have 2-inch nails, so that's another guideline when you're making these boxes, is you don't want to use like small. A lot of times you get these boxes from stores and they'll charge you $50 or $60 for it, and it'll be put together with like those 18 gauge or 16 gauge staples. And as soon as you get the wood wet, the wood bends, and next thing you know, your box is leaking, or it doesn't hold soil, or it's just not what you thought it once was. Well, if you're using 2-inch galvanized nails, the box is going to stay together. And if you're using cedar or redwood that's been dried, you leave it out so that it's dry. Once you put that together, if it gets wet, it tolerates it so much better. So your box is just going to stay a box. We've had many of these boxes, so I had my dad build me some, I built some, and if anybody has time, they're usually building a couple of these. You got to have time and a few spare boards, by the way. But we're usually building these boxes and keeping them, and then we give them away to people. So if somebody needs a little garden box, I always, able to build 1 or 2, or able to give away 1 or 2. We try to keep them and spread them around. That way, if anybody ever has an inkling for gardening or needs something, usually we're able to facilitate that. And so here's the hard part, right? You got to get the sideboards on, and you have to make it square enough to where it looks like a box when you're all said and done. And I'm cheating a bit. I'm using the ground, so I'm making this assumption that my concrete there is level, or at least mostly level. And now I just got to kind of square it up, look at it, square it up, and then I'm able to put it together. But you see, that's probably the hardest part of putting these boxes together, is getting those side panels square. And that first board is the hardest. What you could do though, if you're kind of unsure, is just sink one nail, and then you can still move the board a little bit, make an adjustment, and then you sink that second nail. Usually the second nail firms it up, but you see you can still move it and adjust it slightly. By the time you got 4 nails in it, it is what it is. So just a little hint. And then once you squared it up, it's much easier to put the other parts together. So you see that part moves faster. And so, oh, looky there, I'm almost done. All I have to do is put on these last sideboards. For this box, I used those 2-inch nails, and so I'm much more confident that I'm going through the 1-inch thick cedar board into 2x4 redwood, that I'll have a nice solid box. So when you fill it up with potting soil, it'll handle it no problem, and it'll last you for years to come. And so all in, you know, at this time, which was peak summer season, the wood that I had, so the 2x4x8, I think was like between $10 and $12 for redwood. And then the fence boards were about $3.25 each, somewhere in that range, right around $3 each. And so, you know, let's say I take 4 of those fence boards, just being safe, like take 1 extra just in case you mess up. So 4 fence boards and 1 2x4x8, and what you're looking at is around $25, right? So that's peak season. Oftentimes with fencing materials, if you buy it in the spring, so you put these boards together in the spring to make your boxes, you could get the wood for half that price, right? They'll be offering sales and you can get it for half that price. And so, you know, I'm doing this in the high season and paying the most you could pay, but you could probably spend less than $15 to get this. And the only hard part about it is having a way of fastening it. And so if you don't have a nailer like me, a framing nailer, what I would recommend is you just get 2-inch wood screws, so galvanized, like deck screws, some screw that can tolerate water, and just screw it together. You have a simple drill and just put screws in to tap it together, and you'll have a nice strong box. And the nails work so much better than brads or staples. And so there it is. You see, narrow, long. I put those holes in the bottom of it for a reason, so that there's good drainage. I want good drainage through and out of this box. So as I drain it, the water goes down. I got those 2 good holes there so that the water can go ahead and drain out, and I don't get water pooling, and that way the moisture stays very good. Water it once, maybe twice a day in the summer, and it's a great environment for strawberries. And so what did that take me, 20 minutes maybe? Spent more time cutting and lining up nails, and it's all good, and you have a great strawberry box for $25 or less. I'm gonna hold it up. I'm gonna show you how sturdy it is. You see, just a box, simple box, whole potting soil, and it was cheap and easy, and you can assemble it from wood you got right on site. So good thing. Hey everybody, it's like a week later. No, it's only a couple days later. So I got the boxes here. Sometimes you get to doing a chore and you forget that you wanted to video that. So I had to run in and get my camera right quick. So you saw me make this box here out of basically 3 fence boards and 1 2x4x8, right? And so very cheap. I mean, $20 or less. And all you have to do is hammer it together or nail it together or screw it together, whatever you have around. This is just a real simple way of getting a box, right? And you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars to get a strawberry box. And so these boxes take roughly 1 medium-sized bag of potting soil, right? Why whenever you start videoing, somebody wants to fly their private plane right over the top of you? I don't know. So anyway, it takes about 1 bag of potting soil, about medium-sized bag, not the biggest bag. And so I want to propagate these strawberries, and so strawberries propagate themselves through runners, and that's a way you can get basically the same plant, but they only do it seasonally, so spring and fall. And so now we're close enough into fall that my plants are actually starting to do it. And so what I've been doing, we're just trying to get them more comfortable, right? And what I want to do is show you the part let's get the camera. I'll show you the part that I'm talking about. So, you know, they're getting comfortable in their box before I start fertilizing them. If you want them to sprout a lot of strawberries, fertilize them right now, right? And you can get some fall fruit. But I'm more of a fan of like strawberries in the spring. But as you can see, these plants are fruiting out regardless. But they also have this little, can you see that hopefully? And so that is on a runner, and you see it's continuing on. So this plant in the middle here, so you see I have 2 mother plants on the ends. This plant in the middle, which I need to cut the strawberries off, but is one of these grown in the middle. So I just grew this plant from one of these runner plants. That way you can propagate your strawberries every year and you don't ever have to worry about like losing them. And my goal was just to get 6 good strawberry plants, but you could probably put 8 plants in these boxes depending on the spacing. But at this size, I'd say you could do 8 plants. And so when I saw that it was doing that, I ran out here, got this box ready. You see with these boxes, you just grab the strawberry fruits and you pull them out over the edge, right? That way they're kind of hanging freely and insects won't bother them, and you're able to get good big strawberries. You just have to fertilize the plants. And so in spring, you start fertilizing, you take care of the plants well, and they'll produce you spring frost strawberries, you know, into June, and works really good. And so the last step is really to get these runners. If you don't have strawberry plants, you don't want to pay for them, get some of these that off of someone's plant, or just take them off of, you buy 1 strawberry plant and propagate it. Put this bottom part here in the soil. Just press it in the soil, but leave it attached to the runner. You'll notice that part will sprout roots, and once the plant sprouts enough roots, like the roots get bushy and it takes, you could cut the runner and you just have a new strawberry plant of the same kind. And so you do that year in and year out as needed as the plants get old. Like this plant right here may be about to time out, and so I take a runner or 2 off of this plant, grow them, and then I can take this plant out and put the runner in and keep things going. And that's kind of how you maintain it. And so anyway, that's it. You do not have to spend hundreds of dollars buying strawberry pots. You can make it from scrap wood, or literally just a couple of extra fence boards and 1 2x4, like wood you have left over from something. Or, you know, you could purchase for $15 at a hardware store or at Lowe's or Home Depot. You can make a nice strawberry box, and it'll last you 3-4 years. And when you need a new one, make a new one. It's all natural, and the only thing you had to have is some way to fasten it, some screws, some nails, whatever it may be. So anyway, fall season's here. Enjoy, and I will talk to you in the next video.